live, but I am promoting my afternoon tea party, and I thought, why not hop on here and share with you all how I began my journey with afternoon tea. I have my beautiful teacup. I have this dress I wore for my first tea party, which I hosted here in Belgrade in 2022 at Hotel Moskva. I'm so happy this dress actually fits. I'll show you. So this is the iconic pink dress. I bought this at Belashevik, right on Terazia, right across the street from Hotel Moskva. And when I saw this on the window, I was just like, yes, this is the dress. This is how I know it's a sign that I'll have a great and successful tea party when I find a dress before I have my tea party. And when I saw this dress at Balashevik, hi, welcome. I'm talking about my journey hosting afternoon tea parties around the world. And if you want, you can join me as I share my story and journey hosting afternoon tea parties here in Belgrade, in Istanbul, Istanbul, Turkey, and Almaty in Astana, Kazakhstan. And this is the iconic dress I wore when I hosted the first tea party at Hotel Moskva in 2022. A lot of people were very skeptical because I know Serbs, people are like, oh, well, you know, people don't drink tea here, but it was a very successful big tea party. And I'm having another tea party for International Women's Day next Saturday at the Hotel President Palace in Dorchel. And I thought, why not get on here and share my story? So grab your tea and we can begin. But I'm just really happy. And again, I'm a bit superstitious. Yesterday I did talk about my Serbian superstitions, but one superstition I have when I have a tea party is, can I find the right dress? And this dress, 3 years later, it still fits me. And it's a Serbian design, so not that I'm trying to sell the dress. Anyway, so I'm gonna take a seat, or should I stand? No, I'm gonna take a seat because this will be a nice long talk. But tea parties. People think tea parties are just for young girls, but I think tea parties are for anybody that wants to have a beautiful and elegant experience. And I didn't really have my first tea party until I began my journey as an English teacher in Bangkok, Thailand. I'm a natural networker, and a lot of the networking events in other expat hubs like Bangkok is around chambers of commerce or internations. And I was just a bit tired of the evening events, the wine, the pizza, the bars, gatherings. And I was like, I need something more elegant to have my tea parties, to have networking events. So I got together with some girlfriends at Park Hyatt, and one girl, and we're still good friends till today, she is also a business owner, and we're like, why don't we get some more women to get together over afternoon tea? And that was my first afternoon tea experience at the Park Hyatt, and I loved it so much. And we were just like, this is lovely. Everyone is such a hustler in Bangkok, doing several different things. Hi! Hi from Sunny Greece. Hi, welcome. I hope you have some tea, as I share my tea on having my experience of hosting afternoon tea parties around the world. So, and I hope you love this tea. I got this for my 35th birthday by a friend. It's really lovely. I have to go to Greece sometime. Japan. Hi. You know, I spent some time in Japan, though when I lived in Southeast Asia for about like 3 years, and I did go on holiday in Kyoto. So I know the Japanese, and I did reach out to the Japanese Chamber of Commerce here and invited them for my upcoming tea party for International Women's Day. So hopefully they can come. Anyways, so my first real tea experience was at the Park Hyatt in Bangkok with another foreign entrepreneur friend. And we're just like, this is lovely. Let's get together and get other women in business and have afternoon tea. So you love tea. Yeah, I know people love coffee. I'm a tea girly. Like, I think you can love coffee and you can also love tea at the same time. So, but nonetheless, tea is a way to bond with people, and especially all the nice little teacups you can have and the teapots. And it's just like a nice experience to get together with other friends or strangers with like a common goal. And that's how the Ladies Afternoon Tea Network was really born, just getting local and expat women in business and entrepreneurship and now professionals to network and socialize together over tea. And I hosted the tea parties. We worked as a great team. We started a Facebook group. We had at the Four Seasons, we had the Accor Prestige, we had at the Banyan Tree, Bangkok has like all the 5-star hotels and more and other boutique hotels. So it was really lovely getting women together over afternoon tea. And I don't think at the time I celebrated International Women's Day, which is a big deal here. For those that are joining, I'm hosting a big afternoon tea party event next Saturday on March 8th for International Women's Day. So I eventually left Bangkok, but I still love the experience in getting women together, and I love to organize stuff. So my tea parties really evolved into the Ladies Afternoon Tea Network. Facebook, though, it's kind of dying right now. It was like the it place for groups, for people, especially expats. We love to migrate towards each other and just say, hey, let's get together over tea if you're a woman in business, whether you're local or foreigner. And for me, it's not just the tea and like the little sweets and like the little sandwiches, but it's getting like the right people, right? People want experiences. Yeah. So it's right now, it is winter, but I'm in my apartment. And the thing about Belgrade winters, it's really sunny right now. I don't know, the weather, it could be cold and sunny, but lately it's been quite warm. And people are just hanging out indoors. So a lot of, as we're anticipating spring right now, it's still lovely to be outdoors or sit outside in a cafe with a coat on. It's really nice over here. But back to my story about afternoon tea. So after leaving Bangkok, I did travel around. I went to Japan. I remember I was in Tokyo and Kyoto, and it was such a lovely experience. Japan is really lovely, though very expensive. But I remember going to the onsen in Kyoto, which is like kind of like the equivalent of like the sauna experience, but like outdoors. And it was really lovely. And I did have some tea at home with a friend, but I didn't get to like have the whole afternoon tea experience with the Japanese tea. If you're still here, please share like what is it like to the tea ceremony in Japan like, because I never was able to figure that out. Hi Philip, thanks for joining. For those that joined, this is like the iconic tea dress I got for my tea party at Hotel Moskva. So I'll show you. This is what I wore 3 years ago. So happy this dress still fits. It's Bolshevik, and I have my teacup here. So I don't know the name car for edit. I don't know what that means. But anyways, I'm going over my story. So after bouncing around, I spent some time in Singapore, and I remember Singapore has all the great hotels. So I had a tea party at the Park Royal Collection on Marina Bay, and that was a really, really nice experience. So, and I think my tea parties really took off, especially when I moved to Central Asia, living in Kazakhstan. I don't have a car. I don't know what you're talking about. We're talking about tea and how I've evolved my brand and love for afternoon tea over the last pretty much decade. Yeah, I don't have a car. I live in central Belgrade, so the city center, so I don't need a car in the city to get around. Yeah. Anyways, so back to the story of Greece is windy now. That's 17 degrees Celsius. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm indoors and I am sharing my experience with afternoon tea. Okay. So back to the story. So my afternoon tea parties really took off when I lived in Kazakhstan. Now, I know many people think, Kazakhstan, what do you do there? But I was a corporate English teacher, and of course I have, a lot of time to play around, in any market that I go to, I always host an afternoon tea party. And I had no idea that afternoon tea was so popular in Kazakhstan, and I hosted this amazing big afternoon tea party at the Ritz-Carlton in Almaty. And thanks to Facebook groups, thanks to Internations Almaty, I love you guys, and word of mouth, my tea party was such a big success because who doesn't like to dress up? Who doesn't like to get together with other women in business, other ambitious women? And since Kazakhstan is like a relatively conservative culture, it was a great way for a lot of women to network and socialize together. And at my tea party tables, I have like a very specific concept when I'm hosting an afternoon tea party. It's always long table, white tablecloth. It's 3 hours, everything's structured. The savory and appetizers are served separately. Then there's a break for everyone to get up and socialize. Everyone gets to share their stories. Then we sit back down, the table is reset, and they bring out the teacups. We take some pictures and have the sweet serve. So I like a very structured event. And it's not like a British style type of afternoon tea party. I am not into that. Though I had my first afternoon tea when I was in London, but it's very American style, very business style. And everyone, of course, gets to dress up and look lovely. So Kazakhstan, that's where everything really took off. And I believe that was a time where it was very clear if you're building a brand or if you're building some type of WhatsApp group or Facebook group or Instagram group, it was like building a community around something you love. So the afternoon tea went from, yes, networking, but to building a community around networking and tea. So we all love tea. If you have tea, get your teacup out. And getting women together across different industries, especially different socioeconomic classes. So the tea parties are at a luxurious side, but they're not so luxurious that like it prices out people. So it's like a nice mid-range, and women absolutely love it and go on to actually leverage their network and start or continue to the momentum of scaling their businesses. So when I was an English teacher in Bangkok, the thing I love about Thailand and other Asian countries teaching English, they cover your housing. So I had free housing when I was a teacher in Thailand. So my first school was a Catholic business prep school right in Saturn. If they know the neighborhood Saturn, there's the SkyTrain. My stop was BTS Saturn. So I made about $1,000 a month, which was at 25 years old was something, but I did start my own businesses on the side that enabled me to have more disposable income. I don't know what the salaries are today because everything changed after 2020. But yes, that was my salary as an English teacher. And I worked really hard starting other businesses to supplement my income. But nevertheless, I did choose teaching because I wanted to be in a profession that allowed me flexibility so I can have more time and energy for my other more creative ventures like the Ladies Afternoon Tea Network and organizing, hosting afternoon tea parties. So Kazakhstan really was kind of at the height of the luxury afternoon tea parties because tea parties are very much practiced, or tea is very much loved. Working with different hotels like the Ritz-Carlton Almaty, Ritz-Carlton Astana, and the St. Regis Astana, or Nur Sultan as they call it right now, at 2020 was like the height. And after Kazakhstan, I moved to Istanbul in 2020. And of course, we all know what happened during 2020. But I was able to, when the hotels reopened, I had a nice, beautiful afternoon tea party at the Ritz-Carlton Istanbul, bringing more women in business, especially foreign women together. And this brand continued to grow because people want experiences, people want to get together and socialize. And again, most women love afternoon tea. Yes, some people drink coffee. They had maybe a cappuccino coffee afterwards, but who doesn't like tea? And after Istanbul, I moved on to different places. I Was in New Zealand for some time, so I was in Wellington, New Zealand, and there I'll never forget the International Women's Day Afternoon Tea Party in 2019. I moved to a lot of places in 2019. Actually, no, I was in New Zealand before, and before Istanbul. But I went to Paris in 2022. And the thing about developing countries like Turkey and China and Kazakhstan and even Serbia, tea parties are really great because you have this emerging middle class and wealthy class that want luxury experiences, versus in France, it was just incredibly expensive to have an afternoon tea party. In the US, the tea parties, the level I would like to operate, my tea parties were just so expensive. So I had like tea parties at my home. My mom cooked all these sweets and goods, and I got ladies together. It was lovely. But I love that. One of the reasons why I love living in Serbia is because there is this emerging class of people that want luxury experience, and people here are hungry for experiences. So in 2020, when I first came, of course, I have the same recipe: host an afternoon tea party. I posted on Facebook. I asked around in my network, and I got a lot of ladies together. And of course, I found this dress, which I wore for my first tea party here in 2022. Despite what the naysayers did say that no one does tea, tea is not a popular thing. But no, afternoon tea is absolutely a thing here. And now, 3 years later, several hotels, Hotel Moskva, Metropole Palace, Hyatt Regency, the St. Regis Hotel, Belgrade just opened up. They have a tea room. The Bristol hotels, they have it. And the President Hotel Palace in Dorchel, where I'll be hosting for International Women's Day, they have an afternoon tea. So I set the trend. I am a trendsetter here. And it's just lovely to live in a country where, you could have the best of, if you have a great idea and people want what you're selling, in this case, afternoon tea, it's great. So I don't know what's the average salary for locals in Thailand. A lot has changed since I left. I literally left Thailand almost 9 years ago. So I don't know. And many people, what at least I know, have their own business on the side. And it depends if you work for an international company or a local company. And it depends on the industry. So you're asking the wrong person. But back to tea parties. So again, this iconic dress. And a lot of my guests, this is what's interesting, a lot of my guests were local and foreign women, but all the foreign women were married to Serbian men. And I was just like, that's really interesting. Many people here came for love and then eventually found work or started their own businesses. But here I am, I was just like, maybe I'm going to find my husband, because there's so many foreign women here at my tea party that have found love. And it's just really amazing that Serbia not only took in my ideas, but have attracted women here who fell in love with a local. I think that's beautiful. So, I think I might do another recorded video where I can share like the whole story in a much more smoother era. But I want to have a conversation about this journey, because some people are like, Blair, why are you so obsessed with afternoon tea? You love afternoon tea parties. And it's really a way to bond and connect. I think with the world today, everyone wants to connect in person. We can't do everything online. And tea parties are a way to socialize in a much more elegant atmosphere. And the sweets and the teas, I feel like it's much more healthier than beer and pizza and hamburger. So I'm going to hop off right now and head over to TikTok and Instagram to do a live and share some content. So for those that have watched, thank you for watching. I know usually people do these announcements, but I'm still new to YouTube. And I just want to share and show off my beautiful dress. And I'll do a short about afternoon tea. So if you are interested in my International Women's Afternoon Tea event and you're watching this in the future, I do have some space left. So contact me via email. International Women's Day for International Women's Day Afternoon Tea Party. My email, contact.abcexperiences@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon. And please subscribe to my channel. Bye. Oh my gosh.